Good morning, boaters and cruisers in the St. Augustine area. Please stand by for the St. Augustine Cruisers Network broadcast for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Break. Any people or any persons using this channel, I'd like to kindly ask you to please switch your working traffic to another channel. We're going to conduct the morning's broadcast. It takes about 40 minutes this morning. It's going to be a little longer. There will be constant breaks throughout the broadcast for you to make your transmissions. I appreciate your cooperation. Please stand by, Mariners. The St. Augustine Cruisers Network broadcast coming right back to you in a couple minutes. Good morning, cruisers. I hope everyone's staying warm in St. Augustine this morning on this chilly morning in beautiful St. Augustine. Those of you new to the city, welcome to St. Augustine. Everybody else, good morning. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful morning this morning. The sun's out. It's a beautiful morning here. A little crisp. It is boating weather. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day so far. My name is Brian Bliss, and I'm with the St. Augustine Cruisers Network, broadcasting live this morning from the motor vessel Ovation in Camachee Cove Marina. The motor vessel Ovation has been provided by our friends at Admiral Yacht Sales to help us stay warm this morning, as they have a nice warm cockpit area for us to make our transmission and do this broadcast. So big thanks to Admiral Yacht Sales. If you need anything sales related, boating related, tender, anything sales related with boating, check out Admiral Yacht Sales over at Camachee Cove Marina. I bring this broadcast to you live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on this channel, VHF Channel 72. We do it at 9 o'clock in the morning. And it's just a broadcast in order to share important local information with our cruisers and our boating community, and also give you a chance to ask questions. There's a forum a little later on in the broadcast where you'll have an opportunity to check in and ask questions. And then there'll be breaks several times throughout this morning's broadcast in order to allow people to comment if they have any questions or anything. Anytime during one of those breaks, please feel free to engage, and I encourage it. And then also we have our local fishermen, a lot of local people here use 72 they use it for their daily business, so we try to give them breaks so they can use the channel as well. Not only do we do the broadcast every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we also have a Facebook page. This Facebook page is very impressive. It's a very useful tool both for our visiting cruisers as well as our resident cruisers. It's the St. Augustine Cruisers Network Facebook page. It is a private page. It's run by all volunteers, and those volunteers take their time and they post vital information on there. Special shout out to a couple of people there, Miss Flowers and Sarah and Thistle. They always put important information on there to share with the group. If I left your name out, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of volunteers that step up with our St. Augustine Cruisers Network to share information about services and products in the area. I encourage you to check out that Facebook page and join it. You can get all kinds of good information, as well as if you'd like to join our broadcast family, if you'd like to do this broadcast, we're trying to get it to every day of the week at 9 o'clock in the morning. But right now we're just doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If you'd like to do one day or a regular scheduled day or just a portion of the broadcast, please reach out. My name is Brian Bliss. You can instant message me or reach out to any one of the volunteers through our Facebook page. Want to let you know that our volunteers that run the Facebook page, they plan events, local events throughout St. Augustine, the area for our visiting cruisers to join, and as well as our local cruisers. We have a nice little boating family here in St. Augustine. To check that out, you go to the Facebook page, the St. Augustine Cruisersnet Facebook page, and scroll over to events, click on events, and then there will be a list of the events that are upcoming, the events that are past, and you kind of see the trend of what we do and when they go out. A lot of times it's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Sarah tries to do something for us every week. I try to do something as well every Wednesday. Like to give a special shout out to Sarah. She took over my Wednesday for me this week. I'm going to Jacksonville for my dad's birthday, so check it out. She's going to be doing something at the Blue Parrot from 6 to 8. That's in North St. Augustine. That's this Wednesday coming up. Check that out. Find out more information about the upcoming events on our Facebook page. Just to give you an example of some of the things that we do. Yesterday I was out looking around. We've been talking about dockage up the San Sebastian River. We'll talk about San Sebastian River much more later in the broadcast. But yesterday I was able to go out, find the harbor master of a marina, and we were actually able to secure some dinghy dockage for the Sebastian River. So it's the volunteers that are out there trying to make life better and make things better for our cruising community and our local boating community. So I encourage you to join our Facebook page, and I encourage you to join in the broadcast family if you'd like to do it. If you need more information, reach out to us through the Facebook page, or you can reach out through any one of the breaks in the broadcast this morning. Again, my name is Brian Bliss, and this morning we're going to have, come to you live from the Camachee Cove. This morning we're going to have a roll call here in a little bit and an open forum. I encourage you to join. I know it's cold, so if you just want to listen, I'm going to do it anyway. So I encourage you to join. But then also I'm going to give you a detailed information a little later on in the broadcast for our visiting cruisers about some of our nautical things to be aware of here in the St. Augustine area. Information about our three major marinas here in the St. Augustine area. So I ask you to stand by and check out the whole broadcast. You might get some useful information. Maybe grab a pen. You can jot down some stuff. Again, you can reach out and ask any questions either online on our Facebook page or on the broadcast. I'm going to take a break right now, clear the channel. I'll be right back for the roll call. Welcome back, cruisers and boaters. Hopefully everyone's staying warm this morning and enjoying this beautiful sunny day in St. Augustine, Florida, our nation's oldest city, also known as the Ancient City. Before we do our roll call this morning, I'd like to tell you about a sponsor, or today's sponsor, which is Anchor Eats. It's a new concept here in St. Augustine, and I have one of the partners with Anchor Eats with me right now. Her name's Kelly. And she's going to give you a little information about Anchor Eats and what they do and what services they provide. Here's Kelly.
stay inside and listen to Brian's broadcast. I'm one of the co-owners of Anchor Eats. We do all kinds of services. So if you don't know already, we started, we were going on the half loop, and we found that the dinghy didn't work, and we had trouble getting groceries, we had trouble getting marine supplies, so that's originally how it all started. So we not only deliver food, tacos, pizza, KFC, Taco Bell, we also have a streamlined process with Publix in Volano Beach. We just had an order the other day. When you're cold, you need propane. We also have been delivering propane. We also do some getting you to your boat after 6 p.m. When we deliver food, groceries, we also have complimentary trash pickup. And I don't know if there's anything I forgot, but if you have any questions, you can chime in on broadcast this morning. You can go ahead and get a hold of us on VHF Channel 69, or you can text or call 904-609-BOAT, 904-609-2628. If I forgot anything, I'm sure Brian will let me know. Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Anchor Eats, for being here and taking good care of our city. That's Anchor Eats. Check them out. You can reach them. They have a website as well. It's called getanchoreats.com. Check them out. Look for the orange tender in the mooring field and around the anchorages. Now it's time for roll call. I know it's cold this morning, and I know we're probably going to have a lot of listeners and not talkers. But if you're out there and you can hear my voice, I encourage you to say hello this morning. Let us know where you are and who you are. And let us know that you're listening. So if you're listening this morning in the St. Augustine area, please check in now.
Karen, I'm Salem Vessel Chloe.
Good morning, Chloe.
This is Michelle on SV Sensation Mark 1. We're in the South Mooring Field.
Good morning, Sensation.
Margie on 2 jacks over on Volano Beach.
Good morning. Yeah. That's good. You talk.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'd like to thank those that checked in this morning, braving this cold weather. Come out and get on your radio and let us know where you're at. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning this morning. There's nothing like a beautiful morning, the sun here in St. Augustine, a hot cup of coffee, and a cool morning. It just really is beautiful out. Right now is the time that we have an open forum. I suggest if you have a pen or a piece of paper, you can jot down some information, because I do give some information about local services that we have in the area. But is there any time, at this time, is there anyone that's visiting, or whether you're a local boater or resident here, is there anyone that needs any local information about any services or products while you're here in the St. Augustine area? Please let us know now. I've got a couple services, local services, that are coming handy for our cruisers and our boating family. I'll give you this information over the radio. If you have time, you can write it down. If you have any questions, you can ask. And I will put some of this information on our Facebook page. You can get all kinds of important information about products and services here in the St. Augustine area through our Facebook page, thanks to our volunteers. First off, we have Code Brown. And it is exactly what it sounds like. If you had a Code Brown in the department store, you know what it means. Code Brown mobile pump out service. This boat will come to you whether you're in a marina, mooring field, anchorages. It's a great service to help keep the waters here in St. Augustine clean. You can reach Code Brown at 904-837-8740. Once again, that's Code Brown Mobile Pump Out Service. You can reach them at 904-837-8740. They also have a website. It's called codebrownpumpout.com. Check them out. The captain on that does a very clean boat. He's very professional. It really is a nice service. I encourage you to check that out. And no one is more appreciative of Code Brown's hard work other than our very own Stash Island Diving Service. Stash Island Diving Service is run by Sam. He's a local. He takes care of the boats around the anchor field and the mooring field. He's more of a mobile diver. He handles anything. He comes to you by boat, and he can handle you while you're out there on the water. You can reach Sam at 904-248-2691. That's Stash Island Diving Service. That's Sam at 904-248-2691. Sam handles things out in the mooring field and the anchorages, and he's mobile. He'll come to you. You'll see him in his little orange whaley. And when he gets there, you'll understand exactly why it's called Stash Island Diving Service. Check it out today. Now, those of you that are located in a marina or not at the anchorage or mooring field, we have another diving service. It's a wonderful group of guys, Stan and Wyatt. They work for the Liberty Diving Underwater Services, and they'll come to you by car. They're more of a diving agency that will come in, and they will come to your boat if you're in a marina. They drive to you by truck and then do the diving. They do underwater cleanings, everything underneath the water. So you have a couple different options for any kind of services you need under the water. To reach Liberty Diving, you can call Stan or Wyatt at 904-505-8974. That's Liberty Diving Services, 904-505-8974. I want to tell you about a couple marine services that we have. We have those of you that need any kind of AC or refrigeration work or anything with water makers or electrical. We have Hanson Marine Services here in St. Augustine. Very good group of guys, very professional. You can reach Hanson Marine Service at 904-708-9722. Once again, that's Hanson Marine Service, 904-708-9722. Also want to make you aware that we have an Ace Hardware that's really close to the city marina. It's right just north of the fort there. It's an Ace Hardware. It's a good place to get your propane refilled, and it's a hardware store, so you can get all kinds of stuff done there. That's Ace Hardware. Then we have a great marine supply and oil company that's off of Riberia. This is like a boater's warehouse. They have everything. I mean, everything. You go in there, they got it. It's amazing. And you know what's crazy is there's a guy in there named Charlie. He knows where it's all at. You go in there, ask for Charlie or any of the guys there. They're tremendous help. Check out the Marine Supply and Oil Company on Riberia Street. And then last but not least, I'd like to tell you about St. Augustine's very own. We have our own mobile technician handyman that is in the anchorage and mooring fields. His name is Mike. He works on, he'll help you with your tender engines. He can help you with your big engines. There's no task too small, no task too big. If you need a handyman while you're here in town, you're having problems with something, give Mike a call. You can call Mike at 904-615-3236. That's 904-615-3236. He comes to you right by a boat on the water. Now, are there any cruisers or boaters out there that are trying to sell anything or donate anything or get rid of anything while you're in the St. Augustine area? If so, please let us know now. again, anyone trying to sell anything or donate anything, a good platform for this is our Facebook page. If you need to get rid of something, we've had boaters and cruisers get rid of propane tanks they didn't need, or just equipment, deck hardware, just different things. I encourage you to check out that Facebook page. It's a good, useful tool to sell things and to purchase things, so check that out. Now it's a portion of our broadcast I'd like to talk about our lost and found. Has anybody lost anything that they lost anything or found anything that they'd like to share with the group this morning? Please do so now. I'd like to tell you a story while we're in the lost and found portion. A couple weeks back, we had an unfortunate circumstance. Somebody borrowed a tender in the mooring field, in the South Anchorage without permission. This was devastating to one of our members of our local family. It was, he lost a very important asset for his boat, as well as, the invasion of his privacy. And what's crazy is, it's wonderful how our boating community kind of banded together, and people, everybody's looking, spreading the word, trying to help him find his tender. But I'll just give you the silver lining in this whole thing, because it was just a bad thing all the way around. But the silver lining is, we had a tender break loose about a week later, and because of the heightened awareness of our cruisers and boaters in the mooring field and anchorages, one of our boaters grabbed a hold of that tender. He didn't just take a picture, he didn't just look at it and turn the other way. He actually took his own boat, went out, grabbed the tender, and he drove around. And he was able to get that. We were able to get that tender back to its rightful owner. And I can't commend that enough. That's just such a good example of our wonderful boating community here in St. Augustine. So whether you're a sailor, a power boater, a kayaker, or a fisherman, we're all in this together. We're all stewards of the sea. We're all one big happy family. So I really appreciate the wonderful community, being part of this wonderful boating community here in St. Augustine. Now, as a portion for our general announcements, does anybody like to say happy birthday, happy anniversary, wow, I'm cold, hey, you talk a lot? Anybody want to say anything? Now is the time to do it. Please let us know now. I'll go ahead and make an announcement. It's my father's 78th birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Dad. Happy birthday and congratulations on 78 wonderful laps around the sun. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for joining in this morning's forum and roll call. We're going to have more information. There's going to be some more local information. I'm going to continue on with the broadcast. But I'd like to thank the people that joined in. And I'd like to encourage you to join and then check out our Facebook page. If you have any questions or need any comments, I'll put everything that we talked about today in today's broadcast will be put on the Facebook page. So if you miss anything this morning, you can catch it on our Facebook page. Check that out. It's the private page. And then remember about Anchor Eats. They're on the water. They're the delivery service on the water. They are the DoorDash on the water. If you need anything, give them a call. Anchor Eats. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with some local information. Please stand by. Good morning, cruisers and boaters. Welcome back. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day today on this sunny, beautiful Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I can't believe we're 20 days into the new year. It feels like it was just New Year's yesterday. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their holiday yesterday for Martin Luther King Day. Right now I'd like to go over some local information about St. Augustine. This is useful information for those that are visiting St. Augustine. If you're from here, you may already know some of this information. If you have, I'm from Northeast Florida, so I have 30 years of knowledge in the area here boating. But if you have transited and you have updated information to anything that I say, please feel free, and I encourage you, please chime in and let me know if I say something incorrect, or if you have updated information about any of this information I'm going to share with you now. We're going to talk about the three main marinas here in St. Augustine, and then some of the navigational items you need to be aware of here in the local area. St. Augustine is a very popular destination for boaters and cruisers. Not just because it's such a wonderful city and there's so much to do, but also because of the proximity of the inlet to the city and the intercoastal waterway. It all kind of just comes together right here. But with our proximity to the inlet, we do experience very strong currents here in St. Augustine. Can't overemphasize how strong the currents are here. So I highly recommend that you always know the tides. That way you will know the currents. And like today, we have our high tides late this morning. And then so we're going to have the ebb tide pretty much all day. And the ebb tide can affect the inlet, especially when we have any kind of swells out there. So just be aware of the tides and currents here in St. Augustine. We're going to start at the inlet, and I'm going to kind of walk us all the way through. We're going to cruise all the way through virtually from the sea buoy all the way down to marine landing. So I'm going to give you some details on that, and hopefully it's some helpful, useful information. All right, our inlet here at St. Augustine, I recommend, if you're transiting, whether inbound or outbound, if you're outbound in the St. Augustine Inlet, I highly recommend that you stay inside the channel. Stay inside the channel marker all the way to the sea buoy before you make your north or south turn. We get significant shoaling on the north side and the south side of the channel. You'll notice that those channel markers are temporary markers, so it's not unheard of for when we get real strong storms for them to be pulled off station. So just make sure you pay attention and go all the way to the sea buoy before you make your northern or southern turn when you're outbound in the St. Augustine Inlet. If you're southbound offshore in the Atlantic Ocean and you're heading down the beach, just want to make you aware there's another little inlet down there called Matanzas Inlet. This isn't necessarily a navigable inlet. It is if you have a small boat and a lot of knowledge, but it is a natural inlet that creates shoaling and sandbars that extend offshore. So if you're cruising with 1 foot down the beach, be aware of that. Pay attention when you get around the Matanzas Inlet offshore area. Now, if you're inbound in the St. Augustine Inlet, if you're coming inbound, exactly same rule applies. Go to the sea buoy before you make your approach. And then on your approach, we've all heard of red right return. It means the most right there in that situation. You're returning from sea. So make sure when you're coming in, you keep those red markers and sandbars on your right starboard side and those green markers on your port side as you're coming in. Stay in the channel. Pay attention when you're navigating the inlet here in St. Augustine. When you're coming into the inlet, if you look off your starboard side, you'll see a little town there. That little town is called Volano Beach. It's part of St. Augustine. It's just an extension, the northern part of St. Augustine. Volano is a wonderful little area. We get lots of current there in Volano. There is an anchorage in Volano. You'll see it just south of that fixed bridge. That fixed bridge is the Volano Bridge. There is a dinghy dock you can utilize over there in the Volano area. It's a commercial dock, a public dock that comes off of the fishing pier over there. They use that commercial dock for loading shuttle boats and the different things. You'll see some paint on the dock in the areas where they don't want you to park, but there's plenty of areas for you to dock over there. Just be aware that dock is fully open to the wakes, current. It's not in any type of wake restriction zone, so be aware of that. Make sure you tie your boat up properly. When you tie up there, you can venture up into up into Volano there, and Volano Beach has wonderful shopping. There's a Publix up there. There's a liquor store. There's restaurants. It's a great little area. If you have a wagon or a cart, I suggest bringing it with you because Publix is not that far of a walk, but if you're carrying a case of water, it's a long way. All kinds of stuff to do up there, and also want to let you know there is a marine supply place up there that it's the St. Augustine Marina. There's a little supply place. They have some basic marine supplies. You can check that out if you need some small items for your trip. Now that bridge that you see there, that bridge is the Volano Bridge. It's a popular thing for locals to do is to walk that bridge. There's a protected area where you can walk over the bridge and a protected, nice little wooded area that's underneath the bridge. And it's a good way to get your New Year's resolution in, increasing those steps and getting out there and getting the heart beating a little faster. I know everybody's trying to be a little healthier this year. So you can walk the bridge and check that out. But if you walk over the bridge, when you get to the top, it's one of the nicest views of St. Augustine from the top of that bridge. I encourage you. Now on the west side of that bridge is a marina. This is one of our 3 main marinas here in St. Augustine. This marina is called Camachee Cove Marina. That's where I'm at this morning, broadcasting from the Ovation. It's where Admiral Yacht Sales is at. The Camachee Cove Marina, they are a full service marina. They have transient dockage, they have fuel and diesel sales, as well as a pump out service. They have shops and restaurants on property, and they also have a boat yard. They have the Camachee Cove Boat Yard. They're very good. They're very knowledgeable at that boat yard. Ask for Mason over there. That's the Camachee Cove Boat Yard. Now currently, Camachee Cove is dredging their entrance channel to their marina. So if you're going to go over to Camachee Cove and check it out, I recommend you calling them on channel 6-8. They monitor channel 6-8. That way they can let the dredge know to get out of your way and make your approach into there nice and safe. The thing about Camachee Cove is there's a lot of current in that Volano Beach area. When you go to make your approach there, you do have a lot of current as you're approaching Camachee Cove Marina there by the bridge. But as soon as you get inside their breakwater, that current goes away. And it's really kind of protected from the winds and the currents. It's a nice, safe place. I mean, it's you don't have as much current and wind in there. It's kind of a protected area. We call it a little hurricane hole over there. But check out Camachee Cove Marina. They monitor channel 6-8. Ask for Mike over there. He's a good guy. He'll take good care of you. He stays very competitive with their pricing. Also, when you're over at Camachee Cove, you can access the north end of St. Augustine. We have the Fountain of Youth up there for those of you that are trying to turn back the hands of time. We also have all the shopping. We have Walgreens. There's all kinds of restaurants and shops and things up. Ace Hardware, all that stuff is located just north of St. Augustine. You can gain all that stuff from the Camachee Cove Marina and also from a little bit further of a walk, but from that public dinghy dock over there in Volano. Then also, when you're walking back over the bridge, great place to catch a sunset and cool laid-back atmosphere is a little bar called Beaches. It's right underneath the bridge. It faces west. It's a good place for a sunset. They have live music, good food, adult beverages, good cold cocktails. Ask for Mindy over there at Beaches. She'll take good care of you. We're going to take a break real quick, and when we get back, we're going to talk about Salt and Run. Please stand by. Am I doing all right? Yeah? There you go. Let me get this going. Computer's working. and boaters. Brian Bliss with the St. Augustine Cruisers Network, broadcasting live from the motor vessel Ovation over Camachee Cove Marina this morning. This is our Tuesday broadcast for the St. Augustine Cruisers Network. We're going over some local knowledge, boating knowledge, just general knowledge of St. Augustine area. We just left off with the Volano Beach area, and now we're going to talk about Salt Run. Salt Run is a little body of water when you're inbound into St. Augustine. If you looked off your starboard side and saw Volano, if you look off your port side, you'll see Salt Run. You'll see there's channel markers there. You'll see a marina over there. That's a navigable waterway. It's called the Salt Run area. There's a mooring field back there. It's actually managed by the city. There's a little beach on your port side. When you turn into that channel, there's a little beach there. It's a great little beach to do some exploring. It's all natural. It's part of the Anastasia State Park. Great place to go back there and explore and see old Florida, because there's nothing out there. It's just beach and dunes and good shelling and shark's teeth and all kinds of stuff. That's the Salt Run sandbar right there. That's as soon as you turn into Salt Run, that's on the port side. Now ahead of you, you'll see this. There's a marina there. It's called the Concasse Marina. The Concasse Marina is a local favorite. It's one of our three main marinas here in St. Augustine. We talked about Camachee Cove. Now we'll talk about the Concasse. The Concasse Marina is a full-service marina. They have gas sales, they have diesel sales, they have dockage, but you know what? They have more. They have an island vibe. When you go to St. Augustine, when you go to the Concasse and you step off your boat, you are in the island's mind. It is laid back. It's just got a really cool feel over there. Those of you that are heading to the Caribbean, if you need to get a little taste of it before you get there, I highly recommend the Concasse Marina. The Concasse Marina has they have a great little tiki bar that's on the dock, and they have a restaurant that you can, and a hotel there. Some of their tables at the restaurant are actually tiki huts that sit out over the water. It's majestic. I suggest you check that out. That's the Concasse. They also are home to our largest fishing fleet in St. Augustine. We have several of our fishing boat, a lot of our really good fishing boat captains are over there, and they take clients out daily. They use this channel. That's why we try to take lots of breaks, so give them ability to talk about where they're catching fish. But that fishing fleet, they always come back. You know, a good thing to do is to head on over to the St. Augustine Concasse Marina and go up to the bar, get you a Goombay smash. If you get there between 3:30 and 5 o'clock, you're likely to see a lot of fish coming back from the ocean. It's impressive to see all the fish that those guys catch. It really is impressive. The Concasse, with it being, they're a leader in our fishing community. They are actually having their 12th annual Concasse Marina Resort Wahoo Challenge. This is coming up on February 28th and March 1st. If you're interested, if you're a fisherman and you would like to join in and try your luck out there catching the wahoo, or if you'd like to be a spectator, or if you'd like to be a sponsor, you can check them out at the Concasse Fishing Facebook page and Instagram page. Or I suggest go to the Concasse, belly up to the bar, get a Goombay smash, check out the fish, listen to the band, and enjoy the lifestyle and vibes of the Concasse. The Concasse stands by on channel 6-9. And everybody that works there is very knowledgeable and professional. If you need anything, give them a call. That's the Concasse, channel 6-9. Now, if you go past the Concasse, you have the lighthouse, and you'll see the mooring field. And in front of that lighthouse is a dinghy dock. It's right there at the St. Augustine Yacht Club. And if you go to that dinghy dock, it gives you access to all the great facilities that we have on Anastasia Island. Everybody knows about downtown St. Augustine, but let me tell you, there's a lot of really cool things to do out on Anastasia Island. For one, we have the beach that's out there, but there's also the amphitheater, which is the amphitheater is a hidden jewel in St. Augustine. They get major venues. I mean, they get Rod Stewart, they get big bands play there. I suggest, and then they also have a wonderful farmers market they do every Saturday. Kelly and I went to that Saturday, and let me tell you, it is so cool. If you are a musician and you have an instrument, take it with you and go to the farmers market on Saturday. They have a jam session where they invite everybody up there. and there was 40 people playing instruments. It was the coolest thing ever. So I mean, whether you play music, join in, or whether you just enjoy music, I highly recommend the farmers market at the amphitheater. They have good food. They have excellent food. There's all kinds of vendors. It really is cool. You can find out more at theamp.com about the upcoming shows and also information about their farmers market there. Now, when I'm cruising around the mooring field and anchor field, I see a lot of our boaters are, they like to play in the water. We have water toys. We have surfboards and stand-up paddle boards, and we have all kinds of just different things, kayaks, just different things where people get into water. You know, we are stewards of the sea, being in the boating family. And I want to let you know that St. Augustine has its very own surf station. This is a surf shop. It's up there. It's a really big surf shop. It's got a great selection of boards and accessories, wetsuits, everything you can need for playing in the water. And that's up there by the amphitheater. You can check that out. That's the surf station. If you need any accessories for playing in the water, go in there and ask for Tori. He'll take good care of you. Also up there on Anastasia Island, we have the alligator farm. Stop by there and you can see some of St. Augustine's oldest residents in there. The alligator farm is really cool, and then there's lots of shopping, lots of really cool restaurants. There's even mini golf up there. There's a butcher, there's a liquor store you can get to. All of these things you can get to fairly easily by taking your tender to that little tender dock in front of the lighthouse. Not to mention, one of the coolest things to check out is the lighthouse. Everybody talks about the fort, everybody talks about the old schoolhouse. Let me tell you, the lighthouse is cool. When you go up there, there is no better view. It's even better than the view from the top of Volano Bridge. It is beautiful. And while you're up there, swaying in the winds, the top of this 200 some odd foot tall building, you can think about what the building codes were like back in the late 1800s and early 1900s when they built that thing. It's kind of interesting. Check that out. That's the Salt Run area. If you have any questions or need any information about that, reach out to us on our Facebook page. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the downtown area. So please stand by. Good morning, boaters and cruisers in the St. Augustine area. Welcome back. I'm Brian Bliss with the St. Augustine Cruisers Network, coming to you live from the motor vessel Ovation, thanks to Admiral Yacht Sales over Camachee Cove Marina this morning. Last we talked about was the area called Salt Run. Now we're going to continue inbound from the inlet. So we talked about to the port side, Salt Run and the conch house. Talked about the starboard side is Volano Beach and Camachee Cove. Now if you continue straight, this is a magical moment when you're entering St. Augustine. You look ahead of you, you see the cross, you see the lighthouse, you see the fort. You just can't imagine how many people have seen this view over the history of this wonderful city. It really is a majestic city to enter into. But as you're entering into there, you'll notice there is a north anchorage. And then there's also the San Marco mooring field. This mooring field is managed by the city marina. And then there's also the anchorage that's north of there. And you'll see the fort, which is the oldest standing structure in America. It's basically our version of the pyramids. And then we have the bayfront. It's just a wonderful, beautiful area. We're through Nights of Lights now, but it was all lit up. It's still always beautiful there. It just is amazing, making that approach in there. and then seeing the Bridge of Lions, and it's why we come to St. Augustine right there. Again, I want to remind you about the currents in and around that mooring field and that anchorage. And then also want to remind you that although it's not a wake restriction zone until you get to the bridge, we have people living on those boats and staying on those boats. People having breakfast, and they have everything set up, pictures on the walls. So let's try to keep our wakes to a minimum and be courteous when we're cruising around the anchorages and mooring fields. As you arrive into St. Augustine, you see that bridge. That bridge is a telltale, that is like an iconic structure. The Bridge of Lions is the crown jewel of St. Augustine. It really is a beautiful bridge. But it's a short bridge. Most of us that have tall boats, you have to get that bridge open. So that bridge you can get open, it opens on a schedule. It opens on the hour and on the half hour. That's big hand on the 12, big hand on the 6. And they stand by channel 09. So if you need to get through the bridge, make sure you are in the staging area and call them on 09 to request your opening at the scheduled time. Then please be aware of the strong currents in and around that bridge as you're passing through that bridge. Just a little tidbit, all bridges in Florida stand by channel 09. Now just south of the bridge on the western side is our very own St. Augustine Municipal Marina. Now this is the third marina in our big three. This is the city marina. This is a wonderful marina. It's very convenient to get fuel and diesel there. They have a nice huge fuel dock that's on the outside dock there. The St. Augustine Municipal Marina, it's the city marina. They manage the mooring fields. They offer a shuttle service to the mooring fields. That shuttle service runs daily from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, and it runs every 2 hours. You can call them on channel 71 to request shuttle service. Now they also offer a mobile pump out service as well to boats in the mooring field and surrounding anchorages. And they try to do that pump out service early in the morning. So if you need to get a pump out, you can call them and schedule that for in the morning. They like to do that before they start running the shuttle service. Now those of you that are staying, that are anchored in St. Augustine, and you are not, you're not in the mooring field, you still could get access to the city marina's dinghy dock by purchasing a daily dinghy pass. You can purchase those from the marina, and those that gives you access to the dinghy dock, as well as the facilities, the laundry room, the lounge, and the bathrooms there at the marina. Now the marina is a busy place. St. Augustine Municipal Marina, it's always happening. It's like an airport. It is always happening. They are always doing something. People are always coming, going, docking, getting fuel, getting diesel, getting pump outs. They're always doing something there. So they also sell fuel, they sell gas, they sell everything right there on that outside dock. If you ever want to see an impressive fuel dock, go down there on a Saturday and look at all the action down there. But with all this action down there, they're always constantly busy, and with the heightened currents that are there in St. Augustine, I'd like to recommend that whenever you guys are making your approach, if you're needing to go to St. Augustine for services, whether you're tying up, you've got dockage here, you're going to get fuel, or you're going to get a pump out, whenever you're interacting with St. Augustine Municipal Marina, I would like to make the suggestion that you call them ahead of time on channel 71. Kind of get in the queue, because they're very busy. And if you just drive up and you don't really tell them that you're coming, they may already be assigned to go help somebody else dock, and then you may not have sufficient help to get docked up there. So I just highly recommend whenever you're going to come to the St. Augustine Municipal Marina, give those the people there, the staff there, a call on 71. Let them know your intentions, what you're doing, and let them kind of schedule you into what they got going on. So that way you can make sure you got sufficient help, whether you're docking or whatever you're doing, because there is a lot of current there. Just remember that the St. Augustine Municipal Marina stands by on channel 71, and all of their staff, they're like ambassadors to the city. They're city employees. They are very knowledgeable. They're very professional. They're very helpful. But to help them help you by letting them know what you're doing when you're coming over there, give them a call on 71 and give them a heads up. Also want to make you aware that right now they do have construction going on that north dock there. and that their dinghy dock on the north end of the marina is closed right now. It's temporarily closed. They're working on it. So I'd like to, you want to utilize the dinghy dock that's in the center of the marina. So you'll make your approach at the center, between the south and the center dock there. That's where the dinghy dock is, that northern area. When they do open it back up, just be aware there's construction there and there's a lot of current there. So just be careful when transiting between the marina and the bridge over there. You shouldn't be doing it right now because that dinghy dock's closed temporarily, but when they do open it back up, use caution. So that's the St. Augustine Municipal Marina on Channel 71. The St. Augustine Municipal Marina also manages and takes care of the Menendez Mooring Field, which is our south mooring field. And you have the south anchorage just south of there. And this is a nice area for people to lay up in, to stay at. It's a little less current, a little less wavy action. You're a little further away from the ocean, a little bit more peaceful. That really is our trick-or-treat neighborhood out there in that south mooring field and anchorage area there. Just remember that there is some shoaling between the mooring field and anchorage and the intercoastal waterway. It's marked by danger diamonds. Remember, diamonds are forever. That's why we put them on our ladies' fingers. Diamonds are forever, so those sandbars aren't going to move, so make sure you watch out for them. They're marked really well on your chart plotter, so just check that out. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the information about downtown. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to continue south with some information, so please stand by. Welcome back, cruisers. I'm Brian Bliss with the St. Augustine Cruisers Network, broadcasting live from Camachee Cove Marina this morning. And when we left off talking about our local information, we stopped at the South Mooring Field and the South Anchorage, and we're moving south down the Intercoastal Waterway. That fixed bridge that you see ahead of you is the 312 bridge there. Right before you get to the 312 bridge, there's a little marina on the left side called Fish Island Marina. Now, this marina is not in a wake restriction zone, but there are several boats tied up there, so please be aware of your wakes and be courteous. We do have a fishing fleet over there. If you're interested they're very good fishermen. They run the Legend Fishing Adventures. Check those guys out. They're over at the Fish Island Marina. And just be courteous and watch your wakes when you're around there. Just before the bridge, off your starboard side, you'll see a river there that's got channel markers. This little river is called the San Sebastian River. This little river runs back through the spine of St. Augustine, gives you good access to the western shops and stuff off Sebastian River. There's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of marinas, there's boat yards back there, there's all kinds of stuff back there. If you need to get maintenance or work done on your boat, I suggest you check out some of the boat yards that are back there off the Sebastian River. We were talking about the Sebastian River the last couple of weeks, and we realized that we did not have anywhere to tie up. Like, we didn't have anywhere for people to tie their boat up, tie their tender up, and go into town and check anything out or go to a restaurant or anything. So I went out patrolling yesterday, and I ran into the dock master, Mr. Lamb of the Cat's Paw Marina, and he is willing to cooperate, and he offered dinghy dockage for anybody that wants to come over there and check out the Sebastian River. And you got the Grouper Shack, which is located right there. You know, go up there and have lunch at the Grouper Shack, and then you can venture up there, and you have, like, there's a Home Depot up there. There's all kinds of shops. There's a pet supermarket, all kinds of restaurants. And now, thanks to Mr. Lamb and the Cat's Paw Marina, we actually have somewhere to tie up. So that's the Cat's Paw Marina. When you enter into the San Sebastian River, You'll see the marina there. I'll post some pictures and some information on our Facebook page. And all they ask is that when you get there, if you could just check in and give them your telephone number, so that way if there's any kind of emergency or they need to get in touch with you, they can get in touch with you. But check that out. That's the Cat's Paw Marina that gives our tender operators and cruisers and boaters access to the shopping and restaurants and stores and everything up off the Sebastian River. If you continue all the way back to Sebastian River, there's restaurants up there. You got the Reggae Cafe, you got the St. Augustine Fish Camp. There's all kinds of great little marinas and restaurants up there. Check that out. Now we have a dinghy dock. So check out the Cat's Paw Marina. There'll be more information about that on the Facebook page. Now, if you're going south, there's not much, just a couple things to tell you about when you're going south. There, you will have another, there will be another bridge down there. It's a drawbridge. It's called the Crescent Beach Bridge if you're in the Intercoastal Waterway. When you get down there around Crescent Beach, that bridge is on demand. They open up on demand and they stand by 09. All bridges in Florida are on 09. That's the Crescent Beach Bridge. It's about 12 miles south of St. Augustine. And then we have the Matanzas inshore area. We talked about the Matanzas offshore area. The Matanzas inshore area, because it where the inlet meets the Intercoastal Waterway, we get shifting sandbars. There's temporary buoys there that they constantly are moving to keep on station. It may not jive with your electronics if you have dated electronics, so make sure you do your homework. Keep an eye on your chart plotter and your depth finder when you get around the Matanzas inshore area there. And that extends all the way to about Marineland. And then you should be pretty good, as you'll be in that Palm Coast area from there. Well, that's going to wrap up my portion of local information. I know it was a little long-winded. I just wanted to share some good information with folks. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. I know I don't have very many offshore fishermen today, so I'm able to do a little talking. So hopefully some of that information helps you. If not, thanks for listening. We're going to take a little break. When we get back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the weather. We're going to do a little blessing, and then we're going to close the thing out. So please stand by. Welcome back, cruisers. Once again, my name is Brian. I'm bringing the broadcast to you for the St. Augustine Cruisers Network for Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I spoke to you earlier about the importance of knowing the tides here, because the currents are very strong in the area. It's very important to know the currents, and in order to know the current, you need to know the tides. So I'll give you a little bit of tidal information. I know most everyone out there becomes a weather person and you know about the tides, but I just want to put it out there and recommend it. I have a website I use called usharbors.com. Gives me local tidal information right at the city dock. Today's tides, Tuesday, January 20th. We had a high tide this morning about 9:20, and it means we got a low tide about 3:43 this afternoon. And then a high tide again tonight at right before 9:40. And then tomorrow, January 21st, we have a high tide at 10 o'clock in the morning, then a low tide at 4:20 in the afternoon, followed up by another high tide tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. So we got high tides in the morning, and then we're going to have that low tide, basically ebb tide, all day long. So we have the flood tide in the mornings, and then we have the ebb tide basically all day long, and then a little bit of flood before it gets dark. Can't overemphasize how important it is to know the currents here in St. Augustine. Our marine forecast, we're currently in a small craft exercise caution, and that's till tonight because we have north winds of 15 to 20 knots. Our seas are currently 3 to 5 feet with some occasional 6-footers. It's going to be choppy in the waters today. It's going to be sunny, chilly, and a little windy. Tomorrow, the winds are going to subside a little bit. They're going to be out of the northeast at 10 to 15. That's going to bring our seas down to 3 to 4 feet with some occasional 5-footers, and we're going to have moderate chop on the inland waterways. Today's weather, we have a high of 57. It's going to go down to 46. It's sunny out, beautiful through the portholes, but when you get out, it's a little chilly, a little crisp. It's pretty out though. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have our mids. We're going to have mid-60s for our highs and mid-50s for lows. So we should be over the freezing stuff, hopefully. And then Friday, we're going to get up around 70 degrees. So get yourself ready to work on that tan Friday. We should get around 70 on Friday with a high around 60 or low around 60. Now, I'm not a weatherman, but I have stayed in the Holiday Inn Express before, so I just kind of give you the weather. I know most everybody knows their weather. I just kind of share it with you as a format for our broadcast. I get my local weather information from the NOAA website and also from the Weather Channel. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for listening this morning. I'd like to encourage you to get out there and enjoy St. Augustine. There's a great website called visitstaugustine.com. It gives you information about local venues and music, live music, and just different things going on. Check that out. That's visitstaugustine.com. Gives you information about free shuttles around the city as well. I'd like to remind you that we have a farmer's market tomorrow at the pier. That's down on the beach at the pier. That farmer's market goes from 8 to 1. It's free to the public. And they have vendors, and there's food. There's usually live music. There's free parking. It really is kind of a cool thing. Check that out. They also have that one on Saturday at the amphitheater. Then I want to remind you to check out our Facebook page. We do have that event going on Wednesday night at the Blue Parrot. I'd like to encourage people to check that out. Check out the St. Augustine Cruisers Network Facebook page. It's the private page full of lots of good information for our cruisers and boating family. Our next broadcast is going to be Thursday at 9 o'clock on this channel, 72. I'd like to encourage you to check it out and join us. In the meantime, if you have any questions or need anything or want to add anything or missed anything on this morning's broadcast, you can check out our Facebook page. If you'd like to join our broadcast family, please reach out to us on our Facebook page. We'd love to have you join. We'd love to have you do any part of this announcement. You don't have to do it as long as this. You can do a nice little short one, whatever you want. We just want to get you involved. So if you want to check that out, ask about it, inquire about it on our Facebook page. Now with Martin Luther King's holiday being recent, I Googled on AI, what does Martin Luther King and boating have in common? What can you give me that I can share with the group that has a statement or something that he said, something that has something in common with Martin Luther King Jr. and boating in St. Augustine here. And what AI spit out to me, it's pretty good. And it's actually pretty meaningful in this day and age right now. So I'd like to share it with you. It's not really a blessing, but it's an important statement that kind of hung out with me. So Martin Luther King did come and stay in St. Augustine. I think he was arrested here, actually. I'm not sure. I have to check on that. But he does have some history here in St. Augustine. I think he came here and stayed in a house or something happened, but he's got some good history here in St. Augustine. The statement that I came up with, and listen to this. This is pretty perfect for this day and age. It states, "We may have all come here on different ships, but we are all in the same boat now." I think that kind of hits home with our day in it, with our with the way the world's going right now. So hopefully that hits for you. That's from Martin Luther King Jr. there. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for listening this morning. Remind you to get out there, enjoy St. Augustine. Remember to be kind, make wonderful memories while you're here in St. Augustine, and remember to live properly, treat others with kindness. And I'd like to thank you for listening. My name is Brian Bliss. I'm with the Cruisers Network and coming to you live from the Ovation in Camachee Cove Marina this morning. I got nothing further. If you'd like to say anything after we close, I'm all for it, but I got nothing further. Thank you for listening to me. We'll talk to you again on Thursday at 9. Have a wonderful day. I'm clear.